Why some people choose silence? Silence screams louder than noise. Those who reject social media stand apart, not as outsiders, but as a hidden majority. They don't crave likes or shares. They see the chaos, the superficiality, and they choose to disconnect. This isn't a mere preference. It's a rebellion against a world that demands constant validation. But what drives this indifference? It's not just about privacy or mental health. It's a deeper conflict, a refusal to conform to a society that equates worth with online presence. The tension escalates as they confront the relentless pressure to engage. The more they resist, the more isolated they become. What happens when silence becomes the loudest voice? The implications are chilling. They risk being labeled as outcasts, misunderstood, and judged. The threat looms in a world obsessed with connection. Opting out might just lead to a deeper alienation. Are you ready to face the truth of your own digital dependency? The brain's filter, understanding emotional engagement. People who avoid social media aren't just opting out. They're rejecting a world that thrives on constant interaction. This choice reveals a deeper conflict: those who crave connection versus those who feel suffocated by it. The indifference of the latter isn't a badge of honor. It's a sign of a different kind of struggle. While social media users engage in a frenzy of likes and shares, non-users wrestle with an internal chaos that often goes unnoticed. They navigate a reality where emotional engagement feels like a burden, not a thrill. This creates a chasm, a divide that grows wider with every scroll and every post. What happens when the world moves on without you? The pressure mounts. The fear of being left behind becomes palpable. Those who don't participate are not just missing out. They're confronting an unsettling truth about their own emotional landscape. The question looms: are they truly free, or are they simply trapped in their own silence? Tribalism redefined, finding community elsewhere. The absence of social media doesn't mean isolation. It reveals a darker truth about human connection. Those who reject digital platforms often cling to alternative communities, but these aren't always healthy. They can be insular, breeding exclusivity and judgment. The struggle is palpable. Traditional ties versus modern interactions. As the digital world thrives, these alternative groups can morph into echo chambers, reinforcing toxic beliefs. The pressure mounts. Without the validation of likes and shares, individuals may feel lost, desperate for belonging. They seek out these pockets of connection. Yet, what do they truly find? The more they distance themselves from the mainstream, the more they risk becoming trapped in a cycle of paranoia and suspicion. The future looms ominously. Will they embrace the isolation, or spiral deeper into a community that suffocates rather than uplifts? The choice is hauntingly clear: conform to the digital age or face the abyss of exclusion. The sensory overload, a different kind of exhaustion. The silence is deafening. Those who don't engage with social media exist in a world untouched by its chaos. But what happens when the noise of constant notifications and endless scrolling becomes unbearable? For some, the thrill of connection morphs into an overwhelming burden. They feel the weight of every post, every image, every opinion. It's not just indifference. It's a visceral rejection of a reality that demands their attention. As the digital frenzy escalates, the divide deepens. The ones who thrive on social media revel in the dopamine rush, while others suffocate under the pressure. They question their sanity, their worth. Are they missing out, or are they preserving their sanity? The exhaustion creeps in, leaving them isolated, teetering on the edge of a choice that feels increasingly inevitable. In this digital age, the quiet ones are not just bystanders, they are the canaries in the coal mine. What does it mean to resist the pull of a world that thrives on chaos? The answer is unsettling, and it's coming for you. Uncertainty and control, the psychological divide. People who shun social media aren't just avoiding platforms, they're rejecting a form of control. They believe they steer their lives untouched by the chaos online, but that's a facade. Their indifference masks a deeper fear on inability to navigate the very reality they claim to own. While others curate their identities, these individuals cling to a false sense of autonomy. They think they're above the fray, yet they're trapped in a different cage, one of isolation and denial. The world moves on, and they stand still, convinced they're the masters of their fate. But what happens when the world leaves them behind? Their control slips, and the void grows. The more they resist, the more they reveal their vulnerability. In this digital age, refusing to engage isn't strength, it's a surrender to an inevitable loneliness. The question looms: are they truly in control, or are they just afraid to join the conversation? The cultural spectacle, social media as a modern ritual. Social media isn't just a platform, it's a cultural ritual that binds society. Those who abstain are not merely detached, they're outsiders in a world that thrives on connection. They watch the spectacle unfold, feeling the weight of exclusion. This isn't about choice, it's about identity. The digital crowd chants, and the indifferent stand silent. Their indifference a shield against the chaos, but that shield is thin. The more they resist, the more they reveal their fear of being irrelevant. Isolation breeds a deeper anxiety. As social media evolves into the heartbeat of culture, those who don't engage risk becoming ghosts, haunting the edges of a vibrant reality they refuse to join. The future looms ominously. Will they remain invisible, or will they confront the truth of their own existence? The choice is theirs, but the consequences are inescapable. The defensive reaction: why non-users make others uncomfortable? People who don't use social media provoke unease. Their indifference slices through the collective obsession, exposing the fragility of social norms. When someone admits they don't engage, defensiveness erupts. It's not just a choice, it's a challenge to the very fabric of connection. The discomfort grows as others scramble to justify their addiction. They question motives, label non-users as outcasts. The fear of being seen as disconnected looms large. This isn't merely about platforms, it's about identity. Social media is the lifeblood of belonging, and rejecting it feels like treason. As the tension escalates, the stakes rise. Those who opt out become targets, their silence a threat to the status quo. The implication is clear. To reject social media is to risk isolation, to stand apart in a world that demands conformity. The future is bleak for those who refuse to play along. They may find themselves increasingly alone, trapped in a reality that punishes dissent. Different strokes. The dark side of social media abstinence. People who don't use social media are often seen as outsiders. They reject the digital noise, but at what cost? Society demands connection, and those who opt out are labeled as abnormal. This isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's a rebellion against a culture that thrives on constant engagement. The pressure builds. Friends question their choices, family members express concern, the isolation creeps in. Those who abstain from social media grapple with an identity crisis, torn between authenticity and societal expectations. They watch as others forge connections while they remain on the fringes, invisible. But the danger lies deeper. This detachment breeds resentment and suspicion. What do they know that others don't? Are they hiding something? The implications are chilling. The longer they resist, the more they risk being seen as the enemy of connection itself. They must confront a haunting truth. In a world obsessed with visibility, invisibility is a perilous game. The dark side of disconnection. People who shun social media don't just opt out, they create a chasm. Their absence is a statement, a rejection of the digital pulse that defines modern existence. This isn't mere indifference, it's a confrontation with the very fabric of connection. As they navigate a world buzzing with likes and shares, their silence screams louder than any notification. Friends grow distant, conversations falter. The tension escalates. What happens when the majority thrives on constant engagement while they retreat into solitude? They become the outsiders, the anomalies. But here's the unsettling truth. Their detachment breeds suspicion. Are they hiding something? Or worse, are they judging those who embrace the chaos? The threat looms larger. In a society that demands participation, their choice to remain unplugged might not just isolate them, it could unravel the very relationships they once held dear. In this digital age, are you truly connected, or just pretending to be? The hidden truth of silence. People who don't use social media are often seen as outcasts. They're labeled as disconnected, but the truth is far darker. They're not just avoiding the noise, they're rejecting the very fabric of societal validation. This choice breeds an unsettling tension. What do they know that the rest of us don't? As they navigate a world obsessed with likes and shares, they stand on the edge of a psychological abyss. Their silence screams louder than any post. It raises questions about identity, belonging, and the cost of authenticity. Are they truly free, or are they trapped in a different kind of prison? The implications are chilling. Each moment spent in isolation tightens the grip of societal pressure. The fear of being forgotten looms larger. In a world where connection is currency, what happens when you refuse to play? The future isn't just bleak, it's suffocating. You either conform or risk being erased. What choice will you make? This pattern doesn't end here. Subscribe and tell me what you want uncovered next.